ask you a couple of questions. I don't know. I was giving you questions about, do you believe in God, or what is your purpose with your meaning of love? Give me the meaning of that. Like, how do you portray that as your, like, is it like you're faith based? Are you Catholic? Or do you Christian? What is that?
Yeah, I was like, I was raised Catholic. Okay. But I would consider myself more spiritual than religious. Like, okay. I don't go to church. I'm not religious, but I'm more spiritual. So my understanding of God is right. God is everything. Mm-hmm. You know, we're all of God. So yeah, I would definitely say I'm spiritual. And right. You know, when I speak of love, I do speak of connection and unity. But to me, that's, you know, love is spirituality. God is love. Right. Right. Because God is all. Right. So we are connected to all things. Right. Whether that be, you know, people, nature. Right. You know, it's all divine. Right. Right. And to awaken to what we're able to do through our love. So it allows for us to connect to others, right? And to see things from love and to experience love and feel this within our lives, right? In each area of our life. Yeah. Okay.
Interesting. What can I ask you? Like, I'm just being curious about like, okay, since you were Catholic, what made you? What's your faith based on what you believe in now? Like, you just believe in love and you love is the answer, or just love in general, or loving everybody because you love it because you see the good in person? Like, can you give me the definition on that, Samantha? Can I call you Samantha? It's Samantha, right?
Yeah, Samantha.
Okay. So, do you know what I mean? Like, how did you go from being raised Catholic to where you are now?
So I had kind of what's called a spiritual awakening a couple of years ago. Okay. From there, it opened me up to spirituality. Right. So to energy and, you know, different divine aspects of what's possible as we're connected to God and the divine. Right. So I was able to see, you know, beautiful work that I was able to do through the work that I was doing. So I went through, you know, my own emotional clearings. I had to release a bunch of stuff that, you know, that I was carrying. Mm-hmm. So I did a bunch of inner work on myself. Okay. And then through that, I was able to help others do the same, releasing things that they had been carrying. Right. So people with depression, anxiety. Before that, it was through, you know, I help people with weight loss and stuff. But then I understood the emotional aspects of things and help the things that people are carrying and how to release this stuff so they feel lighter, so they can experience more love in their life. Right. Right. So that was part of my awakening. Yeah. So that, and that opened me up to understand these broader aspects of what love is, right? And what we can do through our love. I don't know if that answers your question. Okay. Can I go a little deeper on that, or? Yeah, of course.
Did you have a spiritual awakening, or did you have a bad breakup, or did you went through a turmoil? Like, what caused you to do that? Because I'll tell you exactly how I turned mine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm an open book, and I don't really care, but just the way I am.
Yeah, no, I'll share. I'm open to share. Yeah. So yeah, it was a bunch of things. It was first, it was like energy wise, like it felt like things were off. So people recommended Reiki to me, so that's how it started. Opened me up to like energy work. Right. From there, I had some pretty crazy experiences spiritually, metaphysically, amazing and dark. So I went through like dark night of the soul. You know, I had different voices come in, different things, you know, affecting me. So I went through some darkness for sure. And through it was
really. Sorry? Okay, yeah. No, go on. I'm just very, very interested in why you are really emphasizing the way you are now. Like, you're very, I don't know, there's something about you. I can read people very well. It's just a part of me, right? And you got a good energy, and it's a good energy, but it's a calm energy. And I don't want to like for me, I'm very cautious because I see everything, and I can read people very well. With you got a good energy, and you're very humble and monotone, and you're, what's the word of that? Kind. Is that good? Yeah, is that your nature, or is that the way you are?
Yeah, I think definitely through the experience, like being more soul connected, heart connected.
Okay.
It connected me more into my heart. So there was a lot of things that I was carrying that, you know, I just see things differently now. So there was definitely shifts, and I've evolved so much. Mm. If that makes sense. So yeah, I'm definitely more heart centered, more soul connected.
Okay.
And spiritually connected. It opened me up that way as well.
So I'm just letting you know that whatever topic I'm doing today, or whatever is a topic I want to talk about, but today you're all about love, and love is good, love is energy, God is love, but I want to know what makes you just the L word, love, as the energy and stuff like that. Like, yeah. You know, like, are you open to tell yourself your story about that, or your history, or why you like that?
Okay. Yeah, I'd be happy to share. I think it's such an important message. I think who doesn't want to feel love, right?
Absolutely.
And a lot of issues stem from a lack of love, or lack of feeling this, right? So when we're connected to that, we feel more connected. We have these beautiful experiences. We're able to experience more of this in our lives, right?
Okay, so get this topic going. Okay, so I used to be a Catholic. I am a Catholic, but I just don't like what's going on with the doctrine of Catholics, what's going on with the pedophilia right now, and I'm really disgusted at what's going on with the Catholicism. And I'm always going to be a Catholic, and I'm always going to believe in God, I'm always going to be a Christian, and I do believe in love, but I'm also true in what's going on in this world today. And everybody does need love. I absolutely agree with you on that. I'm so glad that you would like to share what you believe in. Yeah. But what made you from being a Catholic to where you are now? And give me the definition of what your love is like right now. That would be like, you know, how you became that, and why you transitioned to this, just the LOV.
I think it was just through life. Yeah. You grow and you evolve, and there was a lot of experiences in my life where I had to learn. Right. So I grew up from a young girl. I had a lazy eye, so I had, you know, this lack of love within myself, lack of self-esteem, lack of feeling good enough. So there was a lot of things that I struggled with from a young age, feeling a lack of love. So it drew me to, you know, for me, I was drawn to the gym, so I started working out. So I had to learn, you know, love that way. It helped me build my self-esteem, and then I started helping other people lose weight and find that love within themselves, and create amazing transformations happen through this. And then there was points when I was I did competitions for a bit too. There was points where, you know, there was this constantly chasing or not feeling good enough, and it was, again, I had to bring myself back to learning how to love myself again, and awaken this love within myself, and how to honor myself with love. And when I started to do this, the shifts started to occur within me, the transformation started to occur within me.
Right.
And I started to see things differently and experience life differently, because this was awakened within me. So yeah, I had to let go of a lot of stuff that I had been carrying, see things differently, awaken my heart more. Okay. And then also started to open up my heart more to see more from love externally, right? To allow for, you know, there was things I was carrying from childhood that I had to let go of. So I did a lot of inner work to let go of perceptions that I had that, you know, I wasn't loved, I wasn't cared about, these things happened. So I did a lot of work and when I started to see more from love, it allowed for greater connections, greater with my family, within myself.
Right.
So it just, and then not only that, then I opened up to want to share this love, because as it's awakened within you, you want to share it, right?
Right.
So open it up to share it with others, through my work and through projects that I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
What type of projects were you or are you doing?
Projects that I'm doing is we do garden. Right now we're doing garden. We've done a bunch, but we've done garden projects and water projects in Africa to help children. Right now we're working with a school and families. So we've planted fruit trees, vegetable gardens, water tanks to help with even like livestock projects to help with income and food. And so there's to see children who go to school hungry or not being fed, to find solutions to these issues. So we've done a lot of these projects there.
That is very good. That's very, very good there, Samantha, because you're doing charitable work. I'm involved with that 100%. I know what you're talking about. I've been to third world countries. I'm a Filipino, so I know what third country is all about. And I also went to Haiti and Mexico, and I know what the whole... And I did a lot of charity work as well. So that's probably why I wonder why you are like that and why you chose that road. Did you want to experience that because your heart felt to it, or you want to do it, or you want to challenge yourself in a different... you want to try something different or helping people?
It was definitely hard. So I started with sponsoring children, and then it moved into how do we find solutions? Right? So then we started to come up with, okay, let's find sustainable solutions that will help them, right? Because you want to see them grow as well, right? And like, you know, people don't realize like it only costs a few dollars to plant a seed, but that seed will grow a tree that will continue to grow food. So why is there in this world when a tree costs, you know, a seed costs like $3? Why is there places where there's no food accessible? Like, to me, it's, you know, it's solutions that can help them see in a different way so that people aren't struggling in the world. And it doesn't take much to make a difference in the world, right? Even if it's just planting, you know, vegetables or seeds that will grow fruit trees, or whether it be water solutions so they can plant their water. But it has a ripple effect because, you know, we're doing a school right now, which is with 150 kids. Those kids went to school hungry. You know what I mean? They weren't being fed, and now they're planting these seeds, and they're being part of this change that will not only affect them, so that they can go outside and pick a fruit from a tree and not have to worry about food anymore, but future kids that go to that school who won't have to deal with that, who don't have to worry about hunger. Absolutely. Do you know what I mean?
I do, absolutely, I do. I know exactly about I did a lot of charity work, and I went through a lot of, for years actually, and I know exactly what you're talking about, but your heart feels for those people, but there's only so much you can do, but there's also a lot of corruption in the government. Are you talking about Africa alone? Like what part of Africa are we talking about?
So I've done projects in Uganda, but mostly in Kenya.
Kenya
is where I do most of the projects we've done are in Kenya.
Have you been there before? Or?
No, not yet, but I would love to go. This started during COVID, so I just haven't had the opportunity to go as of yet, but I would love to. I get invitations all the time. But really? I work with humanitarians there. So currently 2 humanitarians there, 2 to 3, and they manage the project. So they'll go take pictures, photos, update me. One of them's also a tour guide, so he helps with people who do want to visit. He'll set up the tours, he'll set up projects that you can do while you're there. So he works with a lot of humanitarians as well from all around the world. So so it's beautiful because I have people there who manage these projects for me, who help. So
when do you plan to go there? Like, when is your that big step to go there and see that? After this whole COVID thing, I know there's a lot of restrictions on flights right now, or can you go there?
Yeah, I would love to go. I haven't really planned a trip yet, but that's definitely something I would love to do. That, and I also I'm doing Heart Awakening work as well. So I'm hoping to do a retreat soon for people who want to awaken their own hearts. So it's about releasing, you know, fears, you know, people who are carrying shame or guilt or lack or emotional burden, stress, to release this and awaken this greater love within themselves and feel this greater love so that they have greater relationships, whether it be greater communication, greater connection in their relationships, and the way they see things. How do we see more from love rather than from the hurt? A lot of people are still carrying hurt from relationships or their past or wounds or pain, and it's about releasing this so that they can awaken this greater love within themselves and to see more from love. So they're not, you know, being triggered or angry or disconnected in relationships or disconnected from family. So we awaken this greater love and unity and connection and communication.
You're very interesting there, Samantha, but how long have you been searching for this, or how long have you been doing this? Like, how long? Like, have you started like a long time ago since you're... Let me tell you something. You have the same mindset as I do, but your connection is a different than mine. Because I used to be a competitive bodybuilder back in the day. So that's what I mean. For you to be an actual, because I know the whole thing about competitiveness, competition, for 10 years competitively. Wow. And I used to work at a gym. I used to be a personal trainer, and I know all about that. And so have you, right?
Yeah, same. I was 10 years on and off competing. Okay. I was a personal trainer.
Have I met you before? I don't know if I met you, because I competed back in the 90s. I'm back in the early generation, 90 to 98.
I would have been 2000s.
Okay, so you're after, yeah. Okay, I retired in 98. And
okay.
Yeah. So did you work at Good Life?
No, so I actually moved to Windsor for 6 years.
Oh, you did?
So, yeah, so when I was living in Windsor is when I was training people, and I was doing a lot of extreme weight loss and transformations there.
Really? Wow. So in Windsor, I used to live there. I lived in Windsor, London, Kitchener.
Oh, wow.
Because I used to work at Total Fitness athletic clubs. So I was traveling from Windsor to Kingsville to London to Guelph. Oh my God, I was all over the place. But I had to train other people there too, because that was my realm. And here's the way it goes. Like back in the 90s, like in my 20s, and I got at the whole fitness, bodybuilding thing, competitiveness in my 20s. And you see a lot of different people and different faces. You have to carry a lot of hats and wear different. You just get to know people more when you're working in the gym and working out and competing at the same time. But I'm also competitive by nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my competitiveness when it comes to competing was very vicious at my time. But when it comes to helping people, I'm very helpful because you want them to, because you want to help them.
Yeah.
Right? And with you, I see that in you as well too. You know what I mean? And that's why you're like very interesting. How you and don't forget, back in when I was in my 20s, I did a lot of partying as well too. Bodybuilders are not the best fucking healthy. They may look healthy, but I did a lot of partying, and so with all my bodybuilding friends as well too. So we're not as healthy as you think, as you know. Right?
Yeah, I think I went through cycles where, it would be like extreme dieting.
Yeah.
And then I would go through binge cycles. So it was unhealthy, right? Yes. And that's what I mean was the biggest thing that helped me bring myself back into harmony, where I wasn't having to, like, I would spend hours in the gym, like, where I felt like I needed to work out to be healthy or to be fit or to, and I would look at people and be like, why is it so effortless? And I was like, I felt like a hamster in a wheel, right?
Right.
So then it was about, I had to bring myself back into connection with my heart and my soul.
Right.
And I just started to look at food differently. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to start nurturing my body.
Okay.
And when I started to do this and bring love back within myself, right, letting go of this need to compete or, and it was just love and nurture myself, the weight just came off. And I wasn't needing to work out like I thought I did. I didn't have to, right? And so then I started to realize it was just about how I felt within myself. Right? It was about nurturing myself, and the weight just came off, and it was effortless, and I had no more cravings for sugar. Like, I didn't binge anymore. Like, it all went away. Because I went right back into being in this harmonious state, in this loving state.
Wow. Are you telling, you mean to tell me, I feel like competitive when I'm competing, I'm in like tunnel vision mode. Like, no one screws around with me. I'm just this and that, and no one.
I was like that too, yeah.
And then I didn't go with my exes and everything. Because I was always me, because I was one. I've won a lot of competitions, I got a lot of trophies, but I was very empty inside as well.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? It can be very selfish sport because it does take a lot of time. Like, I would spend 3 hours a day training, between cardio, workout, stretching, posing, all these things, food prep, eating, because you have to eat 6 times a day, and it was a very focused sport, but again, like, it was a very selfish sport at the same time, right?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I started to shift and see, like, look how much time I'm spending on this, versus when I had these realizations and this awakening, it opened up to my heart to realize, like, no, I'd rather spend my time, putting love into my work and helping others or doing other things and connecting with people that I love, and having that time with myself, connected to myself as well, but also having this love for others, like, and seeing differently, right? I was able to have these greater connections, greater time, even just being present in nature. Like, I started to connect more to nature, right? Going for walks. Now I train, like, I stretch and I'll walk and hike, but that's mainly what I do.
That is so awesome, man, because like I tell all my friends, my friends who are not really still, they kind of retired, but they always wonder why I don't go to the gym anymore, because that's the past. I don't go to the gym anymore.
Yeah.
I just work out of myself by walking and just do a little bit of weights, and that's about it, and keep my mind, body,
focus.
Yeah, it's a totally different thing now that I was back in my 20s, and now that I'm in my 50s, you see things more clear, and you know what you want, and you stay away from all the bad, addictive ways back in the day. And it was bad, because when you're competing, I don't know about you, but for guys, we took a lot of drugs. The more drugs you took, the more you win. And it's the way it goes.
It's so interesting, because I used to coach girls as well, and guys too. I used to train guys as well, but girls would come to me wanting to take drugs, and I would tell them, listen, you don't need to do drugs to win. You know what I mean? So for me, my last show, I did it for one of my clients. I was like, I'm going to show you that you can do a show and not have to do drugs to win, and I won the show. I did 2 shows back to back.
You didn't take any fat burners or anything like that, Samantha? You didn't take no synthetics, no fat burners?
I did take diuretics.
Diuretics, okay.
Yeah, but I never took, like,
synthetics,
enhancing drugs, no.
Clenbuterol, nothing like that? Clomids or anything like that?
Yeah, once I tried that, but that was about it. Yeah, I didn't go past that. That was the only thing, and diuretics.
That's good.
That was the only thing. And I did it once, I didn't like it, and then after that, I was like, I'm doing this naturally. I'm not taking anything, and I did it naturally. And I did a few shows like that, and I wanted to show girls that you didn't have to take anything to do well at a sport.
I'm really proud of you, because I know how it is to. Actually, you're right, because I did train one girl one time in Kingsville, older lady, and I told her, listen, don't do the drugs anymore, but I will train you naturally, and she entered a show. She didn't win, but the fact is that she did it naturally, and it was her first time, but it made her self-confidence up, because her confidence was so low. And I could tell the beauty inside of her, but she needed just to flourish and have that confidence in her. But to me, as a trainer, I could see that and read it in her, because she was desperate, because all the other trainers that helped her didn't get to where she wanted to be. With me, I could look at a person and say, okay, I know exactly what you need is you got to take everybody out, your negative out, and listen to yourself and listen to your coach that knows that want to put you from point A to point B, but also take you to the next level so you can feel confident about yourself. Yeah. And when I did that, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe she stuck to a really hard diet, a really hard regimen, and I really buckled her down, and she actually did it.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of her, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe she did it without any drugs. And I'm going, if you could do it without drugs, Samantha, I give you hats off to you, honey, because that is a very hard thing to do.
Sometimes people don't realize what's possible, and it's just a matter of, the beliefs that people carry. Like, a lot of people, they're told, like, you need drugs to do well, and it's not true. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's different when you're dealing with, like, big bodybuilder guys. I know that's a little bit different, but again, but then you see some of them who are unhealthy or have this unhealthy relationship within themselves.
It's true.
Right?
It's true.
Or some of them are dealing with health issues because of it. So it's really about, again, what's important in life is that, that relationship within ourselves, that relationship that we have with others. So it's just a different look. And, when we awaken that love within ourselves, then that confidence comes through as well, right? That love and the way we show up in the world. And
absolutely. I agree with you 100% on what you feel about love. I have to meet with one of the ex-bodybuilders that I know back in the day, and he's finally going to go on my podcast in the next couple of days. And oh my God, I haven't seen him in so long. And I bumped into him at a bar. I was like, well, out of nowhere, I see a bump out of a bar. I was like, holy shit! Back in '89, he was Mr. Windsor. Back in '89, that got me to spark my brain and say why I want to get to bodybuilding, competing. Now I'm going to get together with him. I'm going to put him on my podcast, and now I'm going to be very happy that I had him, and it's going to be awesome in the next couple of days. So I can't wait for that. So now that I'm getting to meet you. Now I get to know a little bit of your history and who you are and what you did in the past, and I'm very, very fortunate to even talk to you. That now you're opening up to you. That now I know exactly how you feel, and now I wanted to know why you're like this. Why? No, give me some important aspects of why happened in your past. If you want to be open with that. What happened in the past to make you there, or you just want to change your life, or was it with an ex, or is it because of your past when you were a little kid? Is that what it was?
There's this evolution that took place. So yeah, from a young age, I had lazy eyes since I was 4 years old. So I had eye patches. I had to have surgery to correct it. So there was a lot of not feeling good enough. Mm-hmm. Comparing myself to others. Why am I like this? I used to cry myself to sleep, like no one's going to love me, right? There was just a lot of insecurity, very shy, and, I couldn't look people in the eyes for so long because of that. Yeah. I was fortunate in school, I had friends, but, there was times where I was bullied or didn't want to go to school or, so it was difficult, my childhood. And then the moment I hit, as a teenager, that's when I started to feel like after my surgery, I just wanted to feel like I belonged. I just wanted to feel like I felt loved. Because I also felt like sometimes the black sheep of my family. Like I didn't belong in my family, right? Oh, yeah. So there was a lot of emotions that I carried from childhood. That's what got me into working out because it gave me that sense of confidence where that's why I felt drawn to it, like being on stage and right. But then again, it was about learning. That whole process was bringing me back to learning that love within myself. Right? To look at myself with love, right? And to awaken that love within myself, right? How do I start to nurture myself, honoring myself, showing up with love and feeling the sense of love for, again, my relationship. So I did a lot of work within myself to let go of the things that I was carrying from childhood. And there's so many people who still carry these things, right? How they view relationships or how they view, family or how they were raised or different things in their life. So I really worked to release all that and awaken this greater love within myself so that I no longer hold that, and allowed me to see family differently, allow me to get closer to family, allow me to have better relationships and greater connections and love in my work and within myself and how I feel within myself and in my family life and beautiful things. I've literally seen shifts occur around me because of this. Okay. And the people you can touch and the ripple effect you have when this happens also, right, is beautiful.
Have you reached out to your clients, your old clients now, and update them, see how you feel, how they feel?
Yeah, it was so interesting because one of the transformations, one of the girls that I helped, she was over 300 pounds. She was 310 pounds, 5'4", 310 pounds. Wow. She's 130, 140 pounds now. Wow. So it was one of the hardest, transformations awesome. I ever, helped with or assisted with. And it was about her. She was so much anger inside of her, and now the love in her, so I've seen her transform literally inside, outside. Right. And now she's helping others. So I just talked to her. She's like, I just helped this one girl this year lose all this weight. So she's now having this huge effect on those that she's touching. She does also charitable work too in Windsor. She lives in Windsor. Wow. So she does, Keep Windsor Warm, so she gives food cans and jackets to people who are struggling or people coming into the country. So she does a food drive, and she actually is the one who awakened my heart because I went to one of her events and donated to her charitable causes, and it awakened my heart and touched me. So she helped me in a big way, open my heart as well. But to see her now transform, and now she's helping others do the same, which is beautiful. She said she's so happy.
She helps charity in Windsor or also abroad?
She does local, so she does Windsor specifically. Okay. So she's doing food for people and jackets to keep Windsor warm. Oh, so nice. If you have if you're donating your jackets that'll help people who are struggling to keep warm or with food there. Yeah.
Okay. How do you? Okay. I'm just very in tune on what you're saying right now. Like, do you have a set goal of like, hey, so I want to do this, like with the charity and stuff, and then what about yourself as well too, in your next step, like
so there's a few things that I'm working on.
Yeah.
So, with the charitable thing, we do one project at a time. So currently we're working with the school.
Yeah.
So we just raised enough for the water tank. They've just planted 30 trees. They have a garden started. We'd like to plant a few more gardens, and they might need fencing around the garden. So we're just waiting for the tank to be installed this week, which is super exciting because they were walking for water, and now they'll have water available at the school, which will also help with their food there. So once that's done, then the next project arises. So I just go based on one project at a time. So right now we're working on with the school, and then we've also done there's like a slum area there.
Yeah.
So we've done with 10 families. We planted vegetable gardens and trees, avocado trees. So we did that as well. So we recently did that project as well.
Okay.
And then for another mother, we worked with her to plant vegetables and with water as well. So we did a few. So that's those projects. And then for me, I'm working on the Heart Awakening. So I do this one-on-one sessions with people to release and awaken their own hearts. So releasing, people who carry fear or shame or guilt or lack of love or disconnection in their life, whether it be within themselves, they're not feeling this love within themselves. Maybe they're struggling with, pain, hurt, emotional burdens, weight, to do this releasing so that you feel this sense of opening and this lightness and this greater love in their lives. Mm-hmm. So that they bring it forward into the relationship so they can have greater intimacy, greater connection, greater communication in their relationships, as well as in their work, and having this greater love for the work that you're doing and what you're bringing forward into the world, right? Through our love and what we're sharing. So I'm doing that, the Heart Awakening. I do one-on-one, and I'm also working on a retreat. And I do fascia stretch therapy. So I help people release tension and stress from their body, and literally to feel lighter, looser, have better range of motion, flexibility, movement, that type of thing.
Right. So you're bringing in your spirituality, your physicality, and your training as well. You're linking that all together, right? You're helping.
Yeah, it definitely is connected, right?
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. What love is, right? Think about love is spiritual, right? Love is all things. Love is God, right? Everything is divine. Like if you think of nature, it's in harmony. Like nature in its harmony works in perfect harmony, right? Which is love, right? And it's now we're starting to see more of this being brought forward. Yeah. People are living more in harmony with nature and with the world, right? You're seeing through gardening, agriculture, the way the animals are with, as we plant, it reverses the effects of climate issues, right? Yeah. So this is what nature provides. This is the beauty of love, and when we're in harmony and love, and right. So this is spirituality as well, and we're all divinely connected, right? When we start to realize this.
You know what? We are all linked together, but it's up to how would you call it? When you find yourself, when you're lost. Here's why I put it. When I was lost back in the day, I was lost. I'm surprised. Yeah. I lost a lot of friends. This is how I kind of switched my whole 360 from my old past. I was lost. Bad relationships. Got into a dark path. Did a lot of partying. Bodybuilding didn't help as well, too, because sex, drugs, and everything just came with it. It all boiled down. Plus, I DJ as well, too. So it kind of snowballed. And I was on top of the world with bodybuilding, sex, drugs, women, partying, clubbing. And they went to a down spiral after that. And after I lost my friends, it was...
A lot of times people are chasing this high.
Yes.
I want to feel a certain thing. So they're looking externally to feel something, whether that be through sex, whether that be through drugs, right? All these things, right?
Yeah.
They're looking for that feeling. But when you're connected, like to your soul and to your heart and to divine, like that comes from within us.
You know what, Samantha?
Right? So you no longer need that externally.
You're right. I agree with you because your knowledge, I respect your knowledge because you went through a past as well. But back in the day, back in my 20s, which I did a lot of partying back in the day, and when I snowballed and went down a spiral, that's when I kind of like, okay, it was either down there, dead on the ground 6 feet, or move back up, back on my feet. I went from down there to climbing. It was a slow climb, but I'm climbing. And then I got there, and now I'm here, and now I feel, what do you call it? I feel there. And I'm almost there, but I feel something, but I know there's more to come. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I am very spiritual in the way that I believe in God 100%. Love, yes, 100%. But God and love is together. But my spirituality, I went back to my faith. Okay, it's not spirituality, it's spiritual, but my faith is very important. What got me to where I am back today. That's why I'm very interested in other people who went through their dark days, and that's why I made this podcast, and why I love talking to interesting people.
Yeah.
Because everybody has a history and how they overcome their past, and to prosper in how they are today. I lost 5 good friends, 5, and another 5 I don't really know as much, but I hung around with them when I used to, but that really dawned on me when I started losing my friends. They're like dominoes every month, year, and I started like, what the hell? Why are they all dying? It's because they couldn't stop their addiction. It was addiction that caused it, and they lost their faith.
It's so crazy. Yeah, it's crazy to see. Like, I actually did a few interviews on our Heart Awakening page, and it was about people who were really addicted. So one of them was like 23 years in addiction.
Wow.
Like really bad drugs. He actually had a drug house. He was in jail during COVID. Like this was a few years ago. And then he literally had his heart awakening in jail. Realized, okay, I need to stop drugs. Had this reflection. So he went through this reflection of all the past stuff that he was holding on to, letting it go. So it allowed him to see more from love. Right? He read this book. It literally awakened his heart, helped him see things, had this review. And it was similar to things that I had gone through with letting go things from my past to allow my heart to awaken more and see things more from love. And he came out, and now he's writing children's books, writing a book, doing a podcast, going to help people on the street, feeding them every Sunday. Like, he literally did this, 180 transformation. This was literally 2 years ago. He went from 23 years of heavy drugs, dealing drugs, being a drug dealer, being in jail, to literally now writing children's books, wanting to talk to children, wanting to help people, doing a podcast, doing all these beautiful things.
Wow.
And it's beautiful to see those heart awakenings that are taking place in people, and how connected they are to their hearts and to their souls, and spiritually connected, and how beautiful this is, and the things that they're bringing forward into the world from this awakened heart. There was another girl, she was, she had abuse her whole life, and then was in the foster care system, and now she's out wanting to reform the foster care system, right? So it was just like how she had this heart awakening as well, and doing beautiful things and sharing her love, right? But it's really about the love within ourselves and what we feel within ourselves and how we experience life, right? And how we bring this greater love into our life.
How do you feel now that do you have that spiritual connection with your higher being or love or whatever you believe in, and do you feel that is there more, or do you?
That's what's my everyday. I feel connected. Okay. So I do even my practices of stretching. Like, I honor myself. I'm connected to my heart and my soul, and I feel that connection. But this is all divine connections, right? When I'm in the shower, I feel the water. I can feel connected. Right. When I'm in nature, I can feel, nature. I feel connected. I can feel the wind and connect to the water and connect to, nature. I just, I'm always feeling this connection, and it's so beautiful. You know, when I'm talking to people from my heart, that's heart level connection. It's beautiful. And when you have this greater love, greater feelings of love, greater connections, and you start to realize, you know, what life is about and how beautiful life is when you're operating in love, right? And you can experience this more in your life.
Absolutely. I 100% believe in what you're talking about right now, because you got a good soul, and I agree, and because I can relate to your past, and because I know what it feels to be in a dark past, but also the whole bodybuilding fitness thing and the whole sex drug appeal, and I've been there, done that. It doesn't, because when you experience that, you don't want to go back to that. That's for sure. Yeah. But you also want to help people who are in their climb of finding themselves or finding their love or their spirituality. And for you to do that is awesome. I give you 100% respect for that, Samantha, because I was like, okay, there's something about you, man. Because, you know, I was like, you're spiritually connected. You're really heavily into love, which is great. Yeah. You know, but heavily into love can also lead to, okay, some people are going to think you're a kook. It's like, okay, this girl's a kook. Like, do you have experience with it?
What people don't realize either, too, is, like, the miracle of love. Like, I've seen people literally heal from this. So, like, people who are depressed come off depression medication. People who are anxious no longer feel anxiousness. People who feel disconnected allow themselves to feel greater connection in their life, right? Like, think about who doesn't want to feel love in their life, right? Absolutely, and there's people who, like you said, with you know, sex, it's chasing a feeling, right? But it lacks the intimacy and the connection.
Oh, absolutely.
So we start to look at sexuality differently, and we look at it more from, you know, greater connection, greater intimacy, greater love, genuine love, right?
Absolutely.
So you have relationships based in genuine love rather than feeling disconnected, anger, triggered, right? All these feelings. Or just no feeling. Like, if you're just chasing sex, then is there that deep connection? Is that heart connection? Are you feeling connected on a deeper level? Are you feeling the intimacy, right?
Absolutely not.
You offer each other, right?
Absolutely not, Samantha, because when you just chasing sex, there is no love in just sex. It's just sex. Yeah. There's no connection. It's just thanks, bam, that's it. There's no connection there. There's no feeling there. It's just thank you, I'm gone. But when there's a connection and you're feeling that love, there's nothing more greater intimacy when it comes to that.
Absolutely.
And
it's so beautiful, right?
Oh my God, it's absolutely
so much more felt, right? Because then people are always chasing the next thing. It's like you're always looking for that next feeling of feeling good, right? But it's not that sense of fulfilling from within.
Are you
that greater sense of love?
Are you kind of like, are you kind of feeling like that? Okay, I just lost my train of thought for a second. There was something in my head. I said, "Oh my God, I gotta get this out." I was like, "No, I just lost it." Like, what the heck's going on?
It'll come back.
Yeah, it'll come back. Yeah. But when you were, how did that go with your relationship? Did they think that, like, in the whole fitness bodybuilding relationship, you must have had relationships with the guys that are like, come on, like when you're in the fitness, when you look good, there's always going to be guys coming up to you. You look good, blah, blah, blah. Did you have a connection with them?
I was in a long-term relationship, so I was in a 12-year relationship.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so I was in a long-term relationship. I was very supportive of, you know, my working out and stuff. Near the end, it didn't really work out anymore just because I had gone through the spiritual awakening and I was, you know, awakening to within myself. So there was a lot of inner work that I was doing on myself. And I was trying to get him to do the same, but I don't think he was ready for that. So there was resistance there. So we kind of grew apart, which was, you know, it is what it is. I was at peace with everything. So I ended up leaving that. But at the end of the day, I was able to leave with like so much love for him and wishing him the best, right? And wanting the best for him, but realizing what my heart wanted at the same time, which was, you know, this genuine love and connection and heart connection and soul connection.
But he didn't have that love connection because he didn't want it, or he did?
There was just stuff within him that he wasn't happy. So I had done all this inner work, but I noticed within him there was so much that he wasn't happy with within himself. And I was trying to get him to do the work, and he wasn't ready. He wasn't at that place. Right?
12 years is a lot of years there, Samantha. That's a lot of years.
It was a long time, yeah.
And for him not to give and take, or for you, were you pressuring him at all? Or did he just say, okay, that's too much for me? Guys can do that, Okay.
Yeah, I think there was definitely resistance, and maybe he just wasn't ready. And I also was going through a difficult time, like, on my part. So I was changing. And I don't think he liked the change. Because I was going through this spiritual awakening, and I was no longer the same person. So I was, stepping back from the gym, and he didn't like that. I was doing more like meditation and yoga and walking, and he wanted me to work out. Like, he didn't want me to change. So there was a lot of resistance there because he wasn't liking, the process of my spiritual awakening. It was difficult. I went through, difficulties during that process. It wasn't easy for him. Right. So I had to honor, my heart at the time and say, like, I just feel like,
right.
I felt like we had grown apart.
Do you feel like this person was the right person? How long ago was that? Like a couple of years ago?
This was like 2 years ago.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Man, did it end up badly? Because that's a...
No, it was honestly cordial. It was difficult for him, so he went through it was difficult for him, but we ended on cordial. Like I said, I had so much love for him at the end. Even at the end of the day, I said, I just want to see you happy, even if it's not with me, and I wish you all the happiness. But I was also looking within myself for that same thing, for that same love and happiness, and so I was going through this growth and evolution and this awakening and this shedding of all this stuff that I had been carrying, and there was like this new me emerging, and I felt like we were on two different pages.
So this was 2 years ago when you started feeling this and started getting more and feeling in tune with yourself. This was 2 years ago.
My spiritual awakening was 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before COVID.
Literally right before. So
wow.
I was a trainer at the gym. COVID hit. So I stopped working at the gym, and I had created this program.
Wow.
And, gone through my own, like, I was going to, like, I did a course, and I went to go see, like, energy healers, and I was doing this inner work on myself, and getting more connected to my own heart and soul, and understanding things that I had been carrying.
Right.
And then I was helping others. Like I said, I was helping people, through my program that I created with weight loss and depression, anxiety, helping people get off medication who were on medication for like 20 years, So I was doing it for myself, but also helping others at the same time. So it was just a lot of evolution and growth, but it was just like he didn't like the change. So it was hard for me because I felt like I was being, like, he wasn't accepting of it, and it was kind of holding me back. And at the same time, he wasn't happy. So I really just wanted him to be happy, and I felt like we were growing apart, and I needed to do this and grow, but not feel like I wasn't able to at the time. Now I realize, too, more so, what's possible through this work. Like, that, you can create this greater connection, greater love, greater unity in relationships. I'm seeing a lot of people doing this work together. So it is possible to do it together. I just felt like at the time, my heart and my soul was telling me to leave.
Wow. That is a very interesting and very touching. And thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, because do you feel... do you feel content now of how you feel right now? Do you feel in your body?
I feel...
Like, how do you feel now?
I feel like the way I see love has evolved so much. So I'm so happy, and I'm so grateful to have this greater love awaken within myself, because I see relationships differently.
Yeah.
So the way I was in that relationship is completely different to how I see relationships now and how I see love now. Like, to me, it's so much more deeper connected. It's so much more of a soul and heart connection, and greater intimacy, greater communication, genuine love. Like, I just see relationships differently, definitely there's been this growth and evolution within myself.
Really? So in the last, after your lifestyle, last 3 years, you're really sticking it to your tune, and You still have more...
There's this greater awareness within myself, too, of who I am, right?
Right.
Right. This evolution from, you know, who I thought I was, but really realizing, awakening to, you know, the love within myself, right? Because at the end of the day, like, if you look at any spiritual teacher, any master, they speak of love, right? The fabric that holds everything together in life is love, right? And when you come back to that, you feel at home within that, and that's always within you, right? So you experience life with more love when you awaken to this.
Okay. Do you read spirituality books? How did you come up with this? Did you dissect the meaning of love, or did you? How did you like really, like, you know, like you say love a lot, man, and I love it because love is love. You can't. Everybody is looking for love. Everybody wants love, right? Unless you're something not right with you. But with that love, there's got to be some meaning to it. Your meaning to it is, what is your meaning of love to yourself? You feel like, okay, you just need that loving yourself. You're loving yourself, or loving everybody, or the way they are, or what's your meaning of love? You know what I mean? Why you feel so much love? Is it just because of your past, or do you want to know more about, you know what I mean? So, let's get back to her, because we're just getting more information on, like, about your love. Did you dissect the word of love and made it your own meaning, or did you find out more of why you feel so much love right now? Why you grew out of your relationship to growing with yourself? Is there something that you needed in your life to feel something? Like, you know what I mean? There's got to be something like that, right? Or did you, like, how did you, because of the love, you wanted to feel something more? Is that what it is, or no? More spiritual connection?
Sorry?
More spiritual connection, more like love with yourself?
Yeah. So I was feeling this disconnection. So, you know, going through the spiritual awakening that I did and the process that I did, it was bringing myself back within myself.
Right.
And it was bringing me back to love. And whenever I did that, I would feel this greater sense of connection to myself, who I am, and what I wanted to share, what I want to bring forward, who I truly am, right?
Yeah.
There's been many teachers who I've followed, and, you know, Jesus was a big one. You know, I'd read a lot of his, you know, teachings, or and it always reminded me of, you know, the things that, you know, cause people to struggle is usually the perception of the way they see things. So when we're coming from love, we're able to see things from love, and it just shifts the way we see things and how we experience life, right? So he was a big component of, it didn't matter what I was going through in my life. There was times when, you know, there was difficulties, and I was able to stay in love and not be affected by the outside experiences. So there was a lot of teachings and people who shared the same teachings who helped inspire that within me as well, to help me remind, like, the moments that I wasn't in it, to bring myself back to that, and, you know, that truth, and how amazing that feels when you're connected to that.
Okay, all right. You're, I'm kind of understanding now, because it all boils down to the past as well, too, because everybody, whether you've been bullied or you're the bullier, there's some kind of disconnect, or some kind of why you were like that, or why they were like that, and why you were, and okay, you were shy, you know what I mean, and then you kind of broke out of your shyness because of your past, and now you feel that sense of
it's actually helped me see things so differently now. So when I see somebody acting out, someone who's angry, or someone who's acting out, they're acting out from a lack of feeling this love within themselves.
Right.
Right? Let's look at the shooting that just happened in the school with all those children. That was an 18-year-old boy. That's a young boy crying out to be heard, seen, and loved. Yeah. Who wasn't feeling love within himself, or maybe wasn't shown love in his life.
Right.
And he went and took out, and, you know, took those beautiful children's lives, right? It's so sad to see, but again, that's from a lack of love, right? So this is why this is so important when we're connected, you know, how we bring love into the world, how we not only show up for the love within ourselves, so that we show up for ourselves and how we feel within ourselves, but what we're bringing forward into, like, if we have kids or to our spouses, to our loved ones, right? So we're not acting out of anger, triggers, hurt, resentment, all of these feelings that cause people to feel disconnected.
Right.
So what causes people to reconnect and feel united and feel this greater sense of love within themselves? Love, right? So, and how we show up so much differently and how much more connected we feel, right? It comes back to love, right? And how much lighter we feel. What causes people to stress? What causes people, to gain weight or struggle in life? A lot of it is a lack of love, a lack of feeling this within themselves. So when you bring yourself back to that, you bring yourself back into feeling good, back into alignment, back into harmony, back into all these beautiful states, right? Connection.
That's a beautiful thing. You got it. You got it. You're getting it. You get it. You're getting it. You got it. And I feel I feel your heart, your soul, that you're really into what you feel right now. And are you spreading awareness? Are you connecting with people
Absolutely.
who definitely need that? Is that what you're aiming for?
I absolutely love sharing about this, and I share on my pages, and bringing more awareness to these things, because it's the lack of awareness, or this lack of understanding, or lack of level of consciousness that people are at, that causes these issues, because they might be stuck in these feelings that cause them to feel disconnected. And it's about awakening to the truth of who we are, right? And the truth is, we are love, right? And we're all, if we think about it, we're all created, and we're all creating based on our perceptions of what we have been through in our life. But it's about awakening to the truth of who we are, which is love, right? And to experience this in our lives, right? And not only that, like, as we awaken this, think about what we bring forward into the world and what we're sharing and what we're creating. Because we're all creating, right? We all put focus and energy into things each day, right? We're all a form of God. We're all creators. We're all creating each day, and this has an impact and a ripple effect into the world. What we create, what we share, what we bring forward, right? It touches the lives around us. It touches the people that we touch, right? And that can affect the people that they touch. It has these ripple effects. So it's really, important that we awaken to the love that we are, and that what we're sharing and we're bringing forward and what we're creating.
Do you ever, do you have a page or website or anything like that, Samantha? Or do you, where can people reach you at if people need to reach you? Because you have a way of talking to people that definitely who are lost, and I can feel your energy, and I'm all about energy.
Yeah.
And you have a good energy, and you have a good soul. Where can people reach you if they need to get a hold of you? I could steer some people that need your enlightening, and I think you could be. So I think you could be the right person to. I'm not that person. I think you could be that person that can help a lot of people that I know that just need a little love and a spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
Would you like
beautiful.
that?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing for this platform, because you're bringing forward these beautiful messages too. So this is beautiful what you're sharing.
Oh, thank you.
And to reach me would be Facebook, Instagram.
Okay.
So my name, Samantha May Azevedo.
Okay.
I have Life Aligned Heart Awakening as well, but the Heart Awakening pages can be found through my Instagram and Facebook, which is my name, Samantha May Azevedo.
Okay. Is there any way that you can link your links to my messenger, so I'll have all that, and I'll link it on the bottom of this. This will be the first podcast. I would like to have a second one with you later on in the next couple of weeks if you're up to it.
Yeah, I'd love to.
And
I thank you for sharing.
Absolutely, Samantha. I was very intrigued by your whole persona, and I needed to get to understand you and know you more about who you are, and it's good. It's very good.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and I'm grateful for you sharing too, because we've been Facebook friends, but now you get to know a little bit more, and
Absolutely.
the similarities that we shared within ourselves, or within our journeys, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And how do you call it? In part 2 of this, because I'm gonna have a part 2 with you, because I'm really more intrigued. I want to know more about your fitness, bodybuilding. I'd like to see. Do you have any pictures, videos?
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll put a part 2 of this to this first one. Okay.
Okay, absolutely.
All right, awesome. And I really appreciate you sharing your love with me and your thoughts. And now I've gotten to know you even more. I'm going to share more of your content and who you are to the people that definitely need your spiritual love connection.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. It's been an honor to get to know you better and to be part of this, your podcast, and to share this.
Awesome, Samantha. I will... after this, I will get all your information, and can you just get all your links and just link it in so I'll know all your links?
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. I'd be happy to share.
All right. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me for part 1, and then we'll stick to part 2 later on in about a week or so.
Amazing. I look forward to it. Awesome. It's so nice chatting. Thank you so much.
Okay, Samantha. We'll talk to you later, okay?
Okay, so much love. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, that was Samantha, and we've been Facebook friends for years, I guess, and I've gotten to really know her more because she sent all these links, and not links, but she's got this Facebook page, and she mentions love a lot, and spiritual connection, and what drove me is what her spiritual connection to loving God, because she used to be a Catholic, but she also had this little thing about her eyes, so... Well, with this video, you'll understand, so just watch this video, so I don't want to explain it to you a bit more, but she has this deep connection with love and spirituality that a lot of people can't really, grasp right now, maybe because they're not ready to, but she's already into this next phase of her life, and I was kind of drawn to that, because I can read people very well, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, whether you're on video, or audio, or live, especially live like that. And she's got a deep spiritual connection. Her soul is very good. So if anybody needs her information, I'll have the link provided below with Samantha May. And just click in her websites or links, and she'll be happy to talk to you. Now that I got to you more, I'm going to have a part 2 of her bodybuilding fitness, because my past is also exactly the same thing that kind of drew me to what her past was and why she was the way she was, and now the way she is now. So it's all good. It's all love, and it's great to get to know her even more. So thanks for watching with this podcast today with Samantha May Azevedo. I think that's her name, yeah. Let me see if I got that right. Yeah, and stay tuned for part 2 of this awesome podcast with her. So, okay, guys, thanks for watching. Bye for now. God bless. Godspeed. And we'll see you in the next video.